Today I'm going to show you how to paint the X-01 Power Armour from Fallout Wasteland Warfare, right after this. Hey everyone, Sam here from the Tabletop Hub, your one-stop shop for all things tabletop, and today we're painting the X-01 Power Armour from Fallout Wasteland Warfare, and I'm going to be showing you a really cool way and a really simple way to swap out the interchangeable heads for the miniature as well near the end of the video, so stick around for that. Equally, before we jump in, if you don't already have this miniature in your collection and you'd like to add it, there's a link to where you can buy it on the Tabletop Hub store, as well as a ton of other Fallout Wasteland Warfare miniatures, and shopping there really helps support the channel, so thank you if you choose to do so. So first of all, I undercoated the entire model using Army Painter's Uniform Grey. This is going to help really speed up the painting process of the armour as we go forward, and it just helps streamline the whole thing. Next, I got some Army Painter's Dry Rust Effect paint and got a relatively fine brush and just went around the model adding little rusty scratches and marks. Now you don't want to overdo this, but you don't want it looking overly sparse either, so focus on some of the joins, the bolts and raised edges, basically areas that would suffer a lot of abuse to the elements and wear and tear. Now once it was done, my rusty model looked like this, just so you can see how much rust I put on the model. It's always really frustrating when people tell you, add a little bit but don't add too much, and then you don't actually see how much they added. So just for your own reference, this is what I added. Next we're going to take Citadel's Nuln Oil and give the armour a wash. Now this will darken down the grey and prepare it for our metallic stage. Speaking of which, in order to give the armour that metallic look that we see on the box art, I mixed Army Painter's Gun Metal and Army Painter's Weapon Bronze at a 1:1 ratio. Now the armour on the box art isn't straight grey metal, there's a little bit of a bronze tint to it, I thought. So once you've got this mixture ready, you're going to want to just dry brush it all over the armour. Next, I took some Army Painter's Matte Black and painted the fingers of the gloves of the Power Armour. Now from some reference images I was working off, I saw that the fingers were just a lot darker and they kind of did look black as opposed to the rest of the armour. Now obviously this will be different depending on the style of the armour you're painting, but add this to the fingers and the middle joint of the armour, the sort of under tubes at the waist. I'm sure there's definitely a technical term for that area, but I have no idea what it is. Next, I took some Army Painter's Leather Brown and just carefully painted the tubes on the back of the armour and on the helmet. Then we're on to the rifle. So first of all, take some Army Painter's Army Green and paint the midsection of the gun. Then I took Citadel's Flash Gits Yellow and painted the underside and this little wire that runs up the side of the rifle, as well as the power cartridge near the back of the rifle too. Finish all of this off with a wash of Citadel's Nuln Oil and the rifle is complete. Now when it comes to the faces, you're going to want to paint the helmet in pretty much the exact same way we've done with the rest of the armour. So do the brushed metal, paint the little tubes with leather brown, and on the eye sockets just paint the eyes matte black and you'll be sorted. For the Nora and Nate heads though, first off I took Citadel's Basilicum Grey contrast paint and painted the hair. There's no real proper technical reason why I used contrast paint here. Using matte black would be equally fine, but I just wanted it to reveal the highlights of the hair so that we didn't have to come back and do that later, so basically it's just for total laziness really. Next, I took a slightly watered down Kislev flesh from Citadel and painted the skin. Now I left the eye sockets blank because next we're going to take Citadel's Reichland flesh shade and give the flesh a total wash. And we're going to let that wash seep into the eye sockets and darken them down for us. Now we're going to finish the faces off by then taking the Kislev flesh once more and just adding it to the raised areas of the face to add a little bit of highlighting. Then we're on to the base. Now for the ground and dirt I used Army Painter's Oak Brown. The stones are Army Painter's Uniform Grey, and since we undercoated with this, you may find you just need to do some subtle touch-ups from Oak Brown that overspilled when painting the dirt. Add a layer of Nuln Oil to the whole of the base and finish off by dry brushing the dirt with Army Painter's Leather Brown and dry brushing the stones and rocks with matte white. Now as for the heads, if you'd like them to be interchangeable, as opposed to being forced to choose one and stick with it for the entirety, the whole lifetime of this model basically, get yourself a set of 2mm by 1mm magnets. Attach one to the bottom side of each of the heads and one to the area where you would have glued the head onto the power armour. Now I will say you're going to want to trim the majority, if not all, of the little strut coming out the bottom of the heads so that they sit naturally inside the armour. Otherwise they'll stick out and make it look like the survivors have necks the length of E.T., the extraterrestrial. It's super simple to do, and you can find these magnets pretty easily online. I think I got a kit of, it's really hard to tell how many they are because they are so tiny, but I think I got a set of like 50 for £2, so it'll keep you going for ages. But folks, that is it. That is how you paint the X-01 Power Armour from Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Like I said, if you want to pick this model up for yourself, there's a link down in the video description which will help support me and the channel here. But in the meantime, I've got a lot more Fallout on the way, so feel free to subscribe to be kept up to date. But until then, have a great week, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.